the good thing. Discipling is not made of evil. Discipling comes from God. It does not come from evil. So it's not built based off of, diminishing other men because they don't have money. It's not based off of if I have a Lamborghini and you got a Honda. It's not based off of I got 10 women, you got none. It's not based off of any of those things that Red Pill teaches, right? Red Pill teaches, go get some money, go get some money, go get some money, go get some money. And they don't understand and don't realize even rich people are sad. Even rich people are sad. Money means nothing if you're sad.
And I have just leading into my next question, the point I wanted to make is I've talked to a lot of men in just like social settings, right?
Yeah.
And when they talk about women, especially men who are older than me, my uncles, things like that, like men who are in elderly
positions.
Yeah. When they talk about women, especially being affected by the red pill and listening to these stories and testimonies and, prophecies about what marriage will do to you, like false prophesying over men's lives and what they believe will happen if you marry this type of woman, or if this woman does this, then this is what will happen to you, and all these things. I just see the fear. Like, they are so afraid.
Yeah.
And when God talks about a man, courage is one of the biggest aspects of being a man.
Correct.
Is that right?
That is correct.
And so when I see men so afraid of what a woman can do to them, if you are not a courageous man, and on top of that, you're connecting that to a fear of a woman, what does that make you?
So, simple. If you're not a courageous man, then you're the opposite. You're a coward. It's either you're one or the other. It's no in between. You're either a courageous man or you're a coward. Period, point blank. It's that simple. So which one are you? Are you courageous or are you a coward? It's that simple.
And do you think that them using the excuses of other men that they've never even experienced themselves, like, because a lot of men, we've read statistics that a lot of men aren't even as sexually active as we may think, A lot of men aren't
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing.
It's just because you're not sexually active, it's not a bad thing.
No, I wasn't saying that as a bad thing.
No, I'm saying that for the viewers.
Yeah.
Because a lot of, that's another thing. Red Pill likes to say, well, men aren't even sexually active. Blah, blah, blah. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
That's a good thing that you're not sexually active and you're putting yourself out there for a bunch of people, for the possibility of, having extra baby mamas, getting diseases, ending up with the wrong person because you're integrating before you evaluate. This is an issue. So just because you're not sexually active, that's not a bad thing. So Red Pill people, stop telling these men, oh, men aren't even sexually active. They're not even having sex. That's a good thing.
So from that point, like from men who are not even experiencing these women on this level, right? Why are you perpetuating this stuff to other men, right?
I just told you. They're perpetuating these things because they want to keep these men broke. They're getting rich off of the people who are actually struggling in real life. Mm-hmm. You have these podcasts, they're getting super chats, they're getting subscriptions. So they're feeding into it because they're saying, oh, I can make money off of these simps, just like the women can. It's a simple. Anyone who has a brain can understand this, right? It's no different than the women that they complain about. The same women that the Red Pill complain about, these OnlyFans women, y'all are doing the exact same thing. You're just not doing it the way that they're doing because you're a man. So instead of having them subscribe to you being naked, you're having them subscribe so that they can stay broke and you can say, look how I'm living. You're only living that way because of the subscriptions of the men that you're calling broke and aren't getting any women, and you're telling them stop subscribing to the OnlyFans, but you want them to subscribe to you and you're telling them false stuff. It's the exact same thing.
That's true.
That's literally what you're doing. Men, you're broke because you're subscribing to men that aren't going to build you up. That is the honest truth. Stop subscribing to men who are married and telling you don't be with a woman. Stop subscribing to men who are telling you have multiple wives. They don't even have wives. And they're telling you they have multiple wives. They don't even have one. Doesn't make sense.
And I think that, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I think that discipling And truly taking a man into mentorship and under your wing is a very extensive and intense process.
Yes.
And it takes a lot of work and dedication, which is, secondhand to being almost a father.
Yes.
And so what I would say is, no man, and again, Malik will correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that any man is going to make you pay for mentorship.
Exactly.
If he really wants to invest into you, if he really wants to help you, if he really wants to take you under his wing, like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen, we watched the movie The Forge, right?
Yeah.
When that man met that young guy, he just took him in.
And he was actually rich,
Yeah.
right? Y'all are claiming to be rich, but making men pay for understanding. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Men who are truly rich, men who are truly not worried about money, you're not making someone who's trying to be like you pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
You do it because it's in your heart. You do it because you know you were there at some point.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you do it. You're rich because you're taking it from them. That's the only reason you're getting any money. Not because you had it before you made a YouTube. Not because you had it before you made a podcast. Not because you had multiple businesses before then. You have money because of the subscriptions you're having with the people you're calling broke. And they're subscribing to you, and you're doing things that is false. You're saying things that is false.
And the thing about it is, anytime when you just make that point, it's amazing. It's an amazing thing to hear clarity, because now I understand that the outrage when tested, when anybody comes to say red pill is wrong or red pill has taken a dark turn or whatever the case may be, now I understand that this is threatening your livelihood. Anytime someone speaks against it, you're angry because you don't want men to. Everybody's talking about take the red pill, take the red pill. That's actually more brainwashing than what women were doing. Because at least women are trying to connect to men in a false tense, right? Let me not even say it's a good thing.
I wouldn't even say that, because I don't care if it was men or women. At the end of the day, wrong is wrong. If you're spreading false things about men, you're wrong. If you're spreading false things about women, you're wrong. I don't care who it is.
That's true.
And the reason I'm specifically talking to men right now is because I'm a man. And I'm tired of seeing other men complaining about women. But either way it goes, if you're wrong, I don't care if you're male or female, you're wrong. It does not matter.
And just for clarity, what I was saying was, when the same way that you're trying to say women are manipulators and liars and deceitful is what I'm saying. I'm saying that you're a manipulator and you're a liar and you're deceitful, but now when it threatens your livelihood, you become aggressive. And the reason I said it's not at the same extent as women is because when women become aggressive with men, it's not as threatening.
Correct.
I'm saying
because women aren't as threatening to a man as a man is to a man, or a man to a woman.
Right. So when you see men shrink, when the men when the men that these men are subscribed to, right, when they start to get vicious with them, you see men, like I've seen it with my own two eyes, be like, oh, okay, never mind. You know what I'm saying? And so when you talk about feminization, I've seen that.
Yes.
I've seen men say, okay, well, whatever he says. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've seen it too. I will literally see.
But they're saying women are doing that.
Yeah. No, it's not to the same extent, because women don't have bass in their voice. Right. So I see it all the time. You'll see a man who says he's an alpha, right? He'll go and he'll talk crazy. He'll say this and that, and then another man will try to interject, and he'll say, "Oh, hold on," and y'all just cower down and be like, "Okay, he told me to hold on. I'll hold on." That's what I would expect a woman to do. I would expect a woman to be like, "Okay, I'm gonna wait for him to finish." No, if another grown man tells you, "Hold on, wait till I'm done talking," you say, "I don't know who you talking to, but I have something to say. I'm interjecting because you said something that is false. So I'm going to overtalk you because I'm not going to allow you to continue what you're saying, because what you're saying is false." But y'all cower down and say, "Okay, I'm gonna let him finish." And then after he finishes, you don't have nothing to say because you're being a coward. You're not being courageous. You're cowering down to another man. We all have the same blood. We all have red blood. One out of one people die. We all die. There's no difference between a man who makes $1 million a year, a man who makes $100,000 a year, and a man that makes $1 a year. We all are going to the grave one day. And I hope and pray that y'all figure out out what's right and what's wrong before it's too late. Because you're listening to men, two things. You're listening to men that's either going to send you to jail or hell. It's no in between.
And to touch on that, Malik has some notes here that I'll read, and then I want you to elaborate from these two verses. So the first one we have here is Proverbs 27:17, and your notes say, this verse emphasizes the importance of positive and challenging relationships and personal growth. It highlights how interactions with others, particularly those who offer constructive criticism and encouragement, can help individuals refine themselves, their character, and improve their skills and grow in wisdom. So elaborate, what does that mean?
Yeah, that particular verse is iron sharpens iron, and another man sharpens another, right? What this is talking about is not only unity, not only character, not only wisdom, it's combining all of these things that men need each other for, which is what I was talking about in discipleship, right? Men need to sharpen each other's skills, right? Where I lack, you help me strength. Where you lack, I help you strength, right? We help each other to cultivate a stronger community as men. Because if I gain more knowledge, gain more wisdom, and I can help you gain more knowledge and more wisdom, what does that mean for your family?
Right.
That means your family just got more knowledge because I poured into you, and then you poured that into your wife, and then she poured that into your children.
And that's just priceless.
And vice versa. If I'm lacking, if I don't know how to fish, but this man is an expert at fishing and he teaches me how to fish, right? Now I can feed my family. I can take this back and go teach my son how to fish because this man taught me how to fish. So that's the point of it.
What I'm hearing you say is we lack community.
Yes. We lack real community leadership. That's what we lack.
I think that I've seen, heard, and experienced such a lack of community, such a lack of village, such a lack of support from people that call you family, that call you friends, and such a lack of correction, because none of us are perfect. All of us have flaws, and all of us have fallen short. And just the acceptance, like red pill is a true symbolization of the acceptance of not only ignorance but hatefulness. And to diminish an entire gender, or to minimize an entire gender to these boxes and say, and this is on the red pill side and the feminist side, for both sides to do this and to try to destroy the credibility of what it means to unify with the opposite sex is just very hateful, sinful, and evil. And the reason why I focus so hard on the man's side more than I do the women's side is for one reason and one reason only, right? It's not because women shouldn't be held accountable, because as adults, we all should be held accountable. Right. But the reason that I focus so hard on the men is because men claim that they want headship. Men claim that they want to be leaders. Men claim that they want to be dominant. And if you want to be those things, why are you looking to the woman that you say that you can tower over? Why are you looking at what this woman can bring to the table when you say, I'm the head, don't say nothing to me? You're listening to men who are telling you, I'm the head, don't say nothing to me. That's not headship. That's not headship, that's not leadership, that's not mentorship, that's not manhood. You know what a real man is? A real man is, I know that I can crush you with my bare hands, but I show you grace and mercy because I love you. Just like God does to us. He can crush us. If he wants to, he can crush us. You know why he does it? Because he stands on what he means. He means grace. He means love. And that's what a man is. You're supposed to be a reflection of God. That's why you're the head. You're the head because God gave you more power than the woman. And the reason he gave you more power than the woman, because he says it's on you to understand your power and not abuse it. Men, you have to understand that being a man is not how much you can show your dominance. It's actually the opposite. Being a man is showing how much grace you can give, knowing that you can do whatever you want with it, but you decide not to, and you decide to do good. You decide to show love.
You decide to give love. You decide that I'm gonna make a difference